Hey guys, it is almost June, and that means that approaching Stanford forms are due very soon. I remember last year when I had to fill those out, I had like no idea what was going on at all, especially when it came to housing, and I just like put down all frosh as my first choice, as I think most incoming freshmen tend to do. So yeah, in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I could do like kind of an overview of all the different types of housing that freshmen have to choose from. And I got a few people that really wanted that, so I figured that this is what I would do today. All right, let's get into it. I have some things written down on my computer, so hold on, I'm gonna get that out. Okay, so yeah, let's start with all frosh dorms. I think that, yeah, most incoming frosh generally choose all frosh dorms because they're like, oh, it's like the quintessential Stanford frosh year experience, which I totally also said to myself when I was filling out these forms. I think all frosh dorms are definitely a great option for a lot of people. I don't think it's the best option for all people though. I know like when I was coming into Stanford, I definitely thought that like all frosh dorms were good for people who are outgoing, and 4-class dorms were better for people who were like more introverted and quiet and whatever, and like didn't really want to party. I don't think that it's as simple as that. I'd say like all frosh dorms are actually a pretty good mix of the types of people that are in them, since like the majority of frosh will put all frosh as their first choice. I think that like a lot of different types of people will get in regardless of how outgoing their personalities are. So yeah, if you're afraid of all frosh dorms because you feel like they might be too outgoing and too much of like a party scene for you, I would say that that's like not gonna be your biggest concern. I think that you'll definitely still find people in all frosh dorms that have personalities that are more similar to yours, and so yeah, I wouldn't really be concerned about that. The thing that I'm more concerned about with all frosh dorms is that, so all frosh dorms, the way I'm gonna set this up is, okay, I'll just use this piece of paper. Okay, so, where is my Sharpie? So, there are, okay, so I was going to do this, but then I forgot to. Essentially, so I'm trying to like draw a picture. This is East Camp, this side is East Campus, this side is West Campus. Okay, just like as a frame of reference, you can search up some maps online also. But, so this is Wilbur and this is Stern. Those are your two dorm complexes in which all the all frosh dorms are in. Stern also has a dorm inside it called Burbank, which houses Italic, which is like the residential art program. I'm not really sure about anything more than that, but that's, yeah, so Burbank is gonna be in Stern. Also in Stern is Zapata, which is an ethnic theme dorm, and then in Wilbur we have Okada, which is another ethnic theme dorm. You can definitely read more about ethnic theme dorms on the Approaching Stanford forums and on Stanford's websites, but yeah. And then this big square, that is main quad, and that's where most of your classes will be. Okay, so this is my diagram so far. Yeah, okay. What else was I gonna say about all frosh? Oh, okay. The one thing, yeah, okay, so the one thing that I would be a little concerned about with all frosh dorms is that, so Stern and Wilbur, I think they each have about 8 different dorms inside the complex, and each dorm houses approximately 80 students. So for all frosh dorms, that means that there are 80 frosh in one dorm, and that's a lot of frosh. So my one concern might just be that, like, you don't really get to know everyone in your dorm that well. I think that all frosh dorms kind of have a tendency to, like, split off into their own little groups kind of early on. That doesn't mean that you won't, like, talk to the people in your dorm ever, but, like, while in 4-class dorms and ethnic theme dorms, the frosh are, I'm of course biased, but the frosh are generally more tight-knit because there's only going to be around 20 frosh, at least for the dorms in Stern and Wilbur that can only fit 80 students per dorm. There's going to be only like 20 frosh in each of them, and the other 60 are all upperclassmen. So that is all of your options for East Campus, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so then, how should I draw this? Okay, so I may have drawn main campus a little bit too big, but essentially the bottom right corner of main quad is considered central campus, I would call it. So like where I drew this line, that's like the middle of campus. So down here is a dorm complex called FLOMO, which stands for Florence Moore. So that's like where FLOMO is relative to everything else. I think it has a great location. It is literally such a short bike ride to most things on campus. I'm not sure if choosing 4-class will get you into FLOMO, but I do know that SLE is housed in FLOMO. I'm pretty sure the only way to get into FLOMO as a freshman is by doing SLE, which is the Residential Liberal Arts Education Program. I don't really know what it stands for either, but yeah. So that's FLOMO. Great location. It is known for having a dining hall that has real ice cream at every meal, which is actually, in my opinion, like a huge plus because I love ice cream. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. But on SLE and Italic, I know that there are kids that do it that like love it a lot. I also know that they're kind of a lot of work though, and that some kids do drop out of it, and you're allowed to drop out of it and still live in that dorm for that year. So yeah, definitely look into them as options. It can definitely be an enjoyable experience. I don't really know much more than that though. Okay, and then traveling more west, we get to this huge thing, which is probably huger than I'm drawing it out to be. Okay, I just drew a bunch of boxes because I drew it too small at first. But essentially, this cluster is log, and that stands for Lagunita Court. And okay, I never explained what this square is. So essentially, Stern and Wilbur both have their own dining halls, but then there's also a dining hall here called Arriaga. There's also a bunch of other smaller dining halls on east side that serve, they more serve like upperclassmen dorms. There's like the Casper Quad Dining Hall, whatever it's called. There's also Branner. But as a Stanford student, we're allowed to go to any of the dining halls for any meal. Log is essentially where most kids will be assigned if you get 4-class housing. It is a really nice dorm. It is really new. The rooms are double the size of Wilbur Stern rooms. and you're still only putting 2 people in them. Great facilities, huge lounges, huge kitchen spaces. They literally have like an island in the middle of the kitchenette, like what? So yeah. But I've heard from friends who live there that the community aspect is a little more lacking because upperclassmen all have their own friends, and while they will talk to you, it's just like everyone's always off doing their own thing. So then the other 4-class dorm that you can be assigned to is right here between log and flowmo, and it is called Robley. Right there. Okay, so Robley is much smaller than the log complex. The log complex has about like 8 to 12 dorms in the complex. Robley is just 1 dorm. While Robley is 4-class, I've heard that its community is much more tight-knit. No offense to log residents, but literally their RF has a dog who she'll let you walk if you want to. Like, I don't know. I've been in Robley a couple times. They also have a huge theater, which they'll like let you just like borrow for like rehearsal space for any like student organizations, or they'll also like put on shows sometimes. Yeah, for one of my classes, we use Robley Theater to screen a film about surfing. For those of you that are loyal fans, this is my Psychology of Stoked class that I took winter quarter. But yeah, so that's Robley. Okay, so then on this side of log is GovCo, which is a dorm complex that houses Frosico, which is the only thing that you guys will be able to choose in GovCo. So I drew it right there. It is as far West Campus as you guys can live. Frosico, for those of you that don't know, stands for, GovCo stands for Governor's Corner. Frosico stands for Freshman Sophomore College, and it's basically exactly what it sounds like. Freshmen and sophomores live in 1 dorm. I know a few people who live there. I think it's also a very close-knit community. It's also pretty near the engineering quad. Okay, so yeah, like while most of your classes will be in main quad, if you're gonna be taking a lot of engineering classes, this is where they will be. And also if you're taking art classes, they are also on West Campus. So I drew a bit over my W, but essentially engineering quad's here, and then McMurtry, which is your main art building, is north of that. So another positive of living on West Campus is that it is really close to engineering and art. And if you're on East Campus, it is really far to get over there, but you're closer to your main quad East classes, and not really the West classes either. So yeah, essentially East Campus is like really far away from most of your classes, but a lot of people just like East Campus because the all-frosh dorms are there. So yeah, on ethnic themed dorms, there is also one in log called Uj, and there is also one on the row, and this is actually the only row house that you can possibly live in as a freshman, and it is called Mwekma. Let's see if I can draw the row in accurately. I'll just draw it as a street that goes this way, and Mwekma is actually really close to the front of it. So I'll give it an M for Mwekma. I think that's approximately where it is. Yeah. Okay, this is what I will consider a comprehensive map of all of the freshman housing options and where a lot of your classes will be. Yeah. Hope that was helpful. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about this. Hopefully this video did not go on forever. Just looking at the timestamp and it's over 30 minutes already, so. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.